David Bowie reached the end of his life yesterday, and like so many others, definitely hit me hard. He was a big part of my life growing up. I love his music. But I just want to share one of the tributes I read. A friend of mine on Facebook posted this morning. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I really think it's beautiful. And I think she asks an important question. And since I've been attending the School of Living and Dying since learning that I have a brain tumor 2 months ago, I think I might be able to take a bit of a stab at the question that she asks. So here's what Elizabeth Gilbert wrote. For the last 18 months, we learn only today, David Bowie has known that he was dying. He kept that information private while spending his final months doing what he'd done his whole life, making outrageously original, beautiful, complicated art. He made a gorgeous album. He created a show playing in New York now. And then he released this, his final video, just a few days before he died on his 69th birthday. Look up here, he sings, I'm in heaven. Can you imagine to be making art like this? Fearless art that both comforts and challenges, right up to the moment of your death. How do you do that? How do you be that? I think that's the question. How do you be that? I think you be that by not being afraid to live. I think you be that by not being afraid to die. And I think an important part of not being afraid to die is not being afraid to live in an authentic way, in a way that is true and sincere and that is honest to who you really are, what your gifts are, what your passions are, what you are really meant to be doing. Another one of my Facebook friends described him as courageously authentic. When I learned that I had a brain tumor 2 months ago, I mentioned this before, did an incredibly rapid assessment of my life. I was mostly satisfied. Family, friends, except for one area, and that was the area of career or work, where I was extremely unsatisfied. I've worked as a propagandist. I've done propaganda for politicians, and that's not satisfying. I'm not here for that. A lot of what I've done with my career has been meaningless or harmful in some cases. And I also realized I've come nowhere near reaching my potential in terms of the talents and gifts that I have. I've not come close to realizing that. And in terms of the good that I could do for others, working in a government, I had a lot of opportunities. I didn't manage to realize them. Overall, I have not come close to doing the amount of good that I could do. But I'm determined to now that I know I have a terminal illness. There's something about this experience that has been freeing in a way. It has made me very desirous of living a life that is courageously authentic. And I think, it's very, it's an enviable quality of David Bowie that he always had that. He didn't have to sit on a sterile bed in an emergency room and receive the shock of learning that he had a terminal illness in order to just know that he had to live an honest life, a life that is honest to his passions and his talents and his dreams. Some people, I guess, are allergic to inauthenticity, to being fake. I think David Bowie was one of those people, and he just had that passion and that drive, and I'm sure some lucky breaks to make it work. But the reason that Bowie was able to spend these last 18 months, as Elizabeth Gilbert mentions, making art like this, fearless art that both comforts and challenges right up to the moment of your death. The reason he was able to do that, the reason he was able to be that, is because he wasn't afraid of dying. And he wasn't afraid of dying because he wasn't afraid of living. So, that's the answer I can give at this moment after 2 months of attending the School of Living and Dying. The song of the day, of course, will be Lazarus by David Bowie. The link is down here, and also I hope you will subscribe here. Until next time, aloha and mahalo.